right? The first step you should be looking into doing if you're not going to go to alignment school, which you definitely don't have to, but a lot of guys think you do have to, is you look into getting your Class A CDL. No auto restrictions with air brakes. And I also recommend getting the tanker endorsement and hazmat if you can as well. Tanker being more important than hazmat. And the reason that is being when you go to sign the grommet books, at your local union hall, you can put on the certifications that I have my Class A CDL with the tanker endorsement, because there are often times where contractors, they have a job going on and they need a groundman or an operator that has a tanker endorsement on their CDL to drive a water truck around. Is the main reason why you would need a tanker's endorsement, or that could help you. Hello, welcome to episode 34 of CTQ. CTQ is a segment I do on the channel called Cruise the Questions. This is where I take your guys' questions and I answer them here to help you guys on your career pathways to a blue collar trade career. Specifically, a lot of these questions are about the lineman trade. I'm a lineman. I went through an IBEW union apprenticeship in the years of 2017 to 2020 in the Northwest. So I've been a lineman now a little over 4.5 years. Before that, I did power line tree trim clearance. Before that, I did I worked at a weld shop and doing fabrication stuff. And then while I was in high school, I worked at a mechanic shop. So the skilled trades, the blue collar world is honestly all I really know. Like, I grew up in a blue collar family. My dad's a pipe fitter. My mom's a nurse. I grew up in the country, playing out in the woods, doing work outside. That's quite frankly, like literally all I know. So with this channel, with this segment of Cruise the Questions, I can take your guys' questions and try to help you guys with your career pathways. Now, your guys' questions can be about any skilled trade. I don't know everything about all the trades, but I do know enough people to get your questions answered. So you can submit your questions a few different ways. The best way is if you go to the website at bluecollaredu.com and you click at the contact tab in the top right corner. You can put your question or concern in there and it'll be delivered directly to my inbox, so I'll see them. You can put them in the comments down below on these videos, or you can email them to austin@bluecollaredu.com and I'll take them from there as well and help you guys. So with that being said, let's hop into question number one. Question number one is coming from someone who submitted on the website, and they asked, so getting your Class A CDL is the first thing to do. I'm assuming they're talking about the lineman trade, because it is proven to show that the Class A CDL is the most important certification and something that you need to go first step, right? The first step you should be looking into doing if you're not going to go to alignment school, which you definitely don't have to, but a lot of guys think you do have to, is you look into getting your Class A CDL. No auto restrictions with air brakes. And I also recommend getting the tanker endorsement and hazmat if you can as well. Tanker being more important than hazmat. And the reason that is being when you go to sign the grommet books, at your local union hall, you can put on the certifications that I have my Class A CDL with the tanker endorsement, because there are often times where contractors, they have a job going on and they need a groundman or an operator that has a tanker endorsement on their CDL to drive a water truck around. Is the main reason why you would need a tanker's endorsement, or that could help you. Really, Class A CDL, no auto restrictions, is going to be that first step. Most apprenticeships you apply for are going to have that requirement where you need to have that Class A CDL to apply. Now, you can obviously apply for the apprenticeship with no commercial driver's license, but they might not even recognize your application if you apply without a CDL, being that one of the requirements is having a Class A CDL. So yes, the first step is getting that Class A CDL. If you're looking to get into the lineman trade, that should be top of the list. Tier number one, tier A, is getting that Class A CDL. Question number two, this is kind of piggybacking off of the first question. And this question is, hi Austin, my name is Joaquin. I might have pronounced that wrong. And I am 18 years old and I live in California. My long-term goal right now is to become a journeyman lineman. Next month, I have my CDL test and was wondering what I should do after I get my CDL. So Joaquin, the The hard part for you, man, is that you're only 18. So your CDL is only going to be good in the state that you got it in, which will be California. Now, I'm going to tell you that that's not going to stop you, and it didn't stop other people, it didn't stop me, and it shouldn't stop you. But if you're looking to stay in California, which is like literally the most competitive state to try to get a lineman apprenticeship in, you can go sign the books at IBW Local 47 and 1245, which is 47 SoCal and 1245 is Northern California. You can go sign the out of work books as a groundman to be like book 4 because you have no experience. But you can just go do that to just go at least get that experience of going to Union Hall. Maybe you'll be able to talk to a rep there, someone who's there. You can ask them questions and just get some more feedback about what you should do next. Now, I'm going to tell you, before you even go do that, before you even go sign the out of work books as a groundman, you should, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to get your CPR first aid card and maybe a flagger's card. And then if you really want to, which isn't so necessary, but it could help, is getting your OSHA 10 or OSHA 30 certification. All those things are going to take a little bit of time and they're going to cost a little bit of money, but those are certifications that are really good to have in your back pocket as well. Along with your CDL, hopefully, like I was saying, you get your CDL with no auto restrictions. And if you can, before you take the test, if you see this video, get your tanker's endorsement with that CDL. And I think that will help a little bit. So your next steps after getting your CDL would be, like I said, get those other certifications, go sign the out of work books at Local 47 and 1245. Considering your CDL is only going to be good in the state of California, it's going to kind of limit you. I don't want to make you think that it's going to stop you or it's going to do whatever for you, but it's going to be harder because if you want to go to the Northwest, like Washington or Oregon, or cross over into the mountain states regions of Montana or Wyoming, Idaho, Colorado, Utah, or even Southwest Arizona, Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, it's going to be hard for you because you're not 21 yet. Now, if you want to, you can go make a book signing trip and go to the other locals in the Northwest. You can only sign one of the books up there, which would be 125, Local 77, or 659. You can only sign one of those books. If I were you, I'd probably do 659 because there's a lot of work going on in Southern Oregon. But you can go sign those books. You could go to IBW Local 111 in Denver, sign the books there. You can go to 611 in Albuquerque. But your biggest issue is your CDL. Now, if by chance you do get a call, if you do go sign the books elsewhere in different states, and you get that call, hey, groundman call, a job opportunity, you're just going to have to take that responsibility, that step to transfer your license into that state you're working in. When I was working in Albuquerque, New Mexico a few years ago as a lineman, we had a groundman. He was from Washington or Oregon. He wasn't 21 yet. Issue is his CDL, he never transferred it to the state of New Mexico, so he legally couldn't drive trucks. So, which made a pain in the butt because as a groundman, especially, like one of your sole duties or jobs is to be able to drive a truck. And if you can't do that, I feel like you're not really very useful. So you're going to have to take that step to want to transfer that CDL into wherever state that you would get a job. And that's going to be your biggest hurdle. If you're looking to get into trade, I would say ASAP, you're going to have to take these steps. You're going to have to go to these different union halls and sign the books. You can apply for apprenticeships. Swolecat, when CalNev, when they open up theirs, which I think is like once or twice a year because it's so competitive and there's so many guys that want to get into that apprenticeship. In the Northwest, it's kind of the same thing. I'm not saying it's impossible. Nothing's impossible. What is impossible is what people over-exaggerate about being impossible. But it is going to be a hurdle, and it is going to make it a little bit, I wouldn't even say a little bit, it'd make it much harder for you because of that age restriction with that CDL. I don't want you to hear this and think that you shouldn't take those steps because I think you should. Because you're going to have to anyway. And you might as well try to get the ball rolling now. At least go out there, get that experience, make that road trip, apply for those apprenticeships, do the application process, and just do it. You never know what could happen from it. Another good thing that you could do is start networking, calling the different IBW halls and asking them questions and just tell them your thoughts. Let them know kind of what your situation looks like and see what they have to say. It doesn't hurt. It's just a phone call. Worst they're going to say is, no, that's not going to work. You got to be a resident of a state in our jurisdiction, or you're going to have to be 21, or you're going to have to be, have a CDL in one of our states to apply. Whatever that case may be, you can figure those things out. I don't have all those answers because everywhere in the country it's different. But yeah, man, that's kind of your next steps after you're getting your Class A CDL is signing the books, getting those other certifications before signing the books, and then just applying for apprenticeships and just trying to network, call around, ask questions, see if you can't meet anybody. And with all that being said too as well, I don't think it's also a bad idea to try to get some construction related job, whether that be in the electrical field somewhere as an electrician, something like that, or just in the construction industry anywhere. Just try to get hands-on working experience, because when it comes time to doing interviews and doing those types of things for the apprenticeship, it's only going to look better for you if you could talk about your experience working in some sort of trade. That can see that you're able to work, in the construction environment with the type of people. You're able to work with your hands, maybe outdoors. You have the ability to do these types of things, which are, good characteristics to have and good skills, be able to read a tape measure, be able to use different tools in the construction industry. All those things are only going to help you and, be more applicable to your skills when it comes to actually becoming a lineman apprentice. So that's what I would tell you to do. Hopefully you take this advice and actually use it. All right, let's hop into question number 3. Question number 3 is coming from a comment at Brian. He says, is it possible for me to get an apprentice lineman job being an immigrant with a work authorization card being a social security card? So the biggest thing I see here is most apprenticeships that you would apply for, one of the main requirements is be a citizen of the United States. So for you to get into an apprenticeship, a lineman apprenticeship, that is going to be one of the biggest hurdles, because literally one of those requirements is being a citizen of the United States. Now, I'm just like I was saying in the previous question, not saying it's impossible or it can't happen. I don't know exactly what that looks like. I personally would probably call an IBW hall near you. I don't know what state you're at or what area you're in, and I would call them and ask them, tell them your situation, tell them, hey, I'm an immigrant. I have a social security card, a work authorization. Is it possible for me to work out of the union or apply for the apprenticeship being who I am, right? I don't have that exact answer for you, but I do know that one of the requirements for most apprenticeships is being a legal citizen of the United States. And if you're not that, then I don't even know if your application would be considered. Also, are you able to legally obtain a Class A CDL? Being one of the top requirements as well. So those are like the two factors that you're going to have to really consider getting into a lineman apprenticeship, not being a legal U.S. citizen, is can I obtain a Class A CDL, commercial driver's license, and will I even be able to really apply for an apprenticeship not being a legal citizen of the United States? So those are two things to figure out. And if two of those things check out and it works, then absolutely, man, you could become an apprentice lineman. So that's what really I have to offer for you when it comes to a situation like that. Is I personally would just call either the apprenticeship, I don't know, like I said, I don't know where you're at, or an IBW lineman hall near you, and ask them what that looks like. Now, there are non-union apprenticeships out there, right? I don't, like I said, what state, what region you're in. Can you get a non-union lineman apprenticeship? I don't recommend that, just because a union apprenticeship is so great. The training, the education, the benefits, and all that are awesome. But can you get a non-union lineman apprenticeship? That I'm not super familiar with. You might have a better chance doing that, but I'm not going to tell you to go that route, because I think everyone should try to go through a union apprenticeship if they can. Even though it's probably a little bit harder, it's probably a little more competitive. than getting into a non-union apprenticeship. But you could look into that as well and just try to get your foot in the door maybe there and start getting work experience. That might help you, in the long run. So I don't know. There's a few things that I'm just questionable on the legalities of actually becoming apprentice lineman as a non-U.S. citizen. So there's that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video with Blue Collar Edu. I'm here to expose, teach, educate you guys about blue collar career opportunities, how to get started in a skilled trade. If you guys have questions, like I said, submit them, comments them below. Go to bluecollaredu.com, contact tab, or go ahead and email them to austin@bluecollaredu.com. If you guys want to learn more about the lineman trade, go to bluecollaredu.com/lineman. I'll also have links in the description down below that you guys can go check out that, learn more about the lineman trade. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you guys on episode 35 of CTQ.